Hi again, everyone. Candace Crystal, Artistic Director of American History Theater, here with you today. I have with me Spshelle Rutledge from Breaking Down Barriers to talk about the Tuskegee Airmen. So let's start off with Spshelle doing a quick introduction of herself.
Yes, my name is Spshelle Rutledge. I am with Breaking Down Barriers, and which is under Jewish Family Service in San Diego. And so our role is to reduce mental health stigma and discrimination for communities of color and LGBTQ plus community. So with me, I primarily work with for the African American Black community, and today I also am a veteran myself. I served in the Marine Corps for 4.5 years, and have a lot of experience when it comes to mental health on a personal level. But then also decided to go to school and learn more about it. And now I educate. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. None of those things. So I commend those who are out there doing the work, especially for veterans. But educating and just literally breaking the barriers when it comes to mental stigma is my role.
Love that. Thank you, Spshelle. And thank you so much for your service. Um, so let's jump right in. Why don't we
Yes.
talk a little bit about the Tuskegee Airmen, the barriers they broke, and how that affected so many men and women of our military today.
Right. Awesome. So the Tuskegee Airmen, they were a group of primarily African American military pilots. So fighters, bombers, and they fought in World War II. And so they did form the Expeditionary Operations Group, which some of my military people may know what that is, some may not. Basically, broke barriers just serving. They were the first African American military aviators, I'm sorry, in the United States Armed Forces during this time, and even while still being subjected to the Jim Crow laws at the time. And so it was racially segregated, yes, but and they were subjected to discrimination. However, they did so much and combated so many, imagine being in the military during that time and then having to, fight discrimination and, pave the way for individuals like me.
Right, right. So as far as military folk today, what do you
Yes.
feel like the Tuskegee Airmen did by being the first aviators, Black aviators at that? How did that event create this like uh, groundbreaking experience for our men and women in the military currently?
They paved the way for, showing just how we truly are resilient and we do operate in excellence. And yeah.
I'm totally feeling that we operate in excellence. That is a you always have really good quotes from me, and that makes me happy.
That's
One other thing I wanna talk to you about as far as the Tuskegee Airmen are concerned, and
yes.
all black
Their
regiments.
accomplishments.
Yeah, yeah, and there's all black regiments, I feel like historically during, like, the Civil War that talked about Tuskegee Airmen, and currently it's less focused, but do you feel like in the current military that we are seeing more black men and women advancing to higher levels within our military, or do you feel like that's something we could maybe improve upon?
It's something that we definitely need to approve upon. So many African Americans that serve and that still serve today. However, sometimes we're still subjected to some of the old laws, the old Uniform Code of Military Justice. Different. That's still the same. There's so much that has gone unchanged when it comes to the legalities and when it comes to advancement. I definitely think that the least that can be done is doing a better job at the advancement of African Americans in leadership because there's so many of us that put our lives on the line for a country that we built, and yet still there's not as much recognition. as a whole when it comes to the sacrifices that were made. I mean, when we talk about the Tuskegee Airmen, they were credited for so much. 5078 combat missions, 179 bomber escort missions, 100. It's like they did so much, yet so much that could be credited toward you
So
the service today.
with the Tuskegee Airmen, if I recall correctly, they didn't receive credit at the time. This took years
It took years.
to actually happen. And I I'd love if you could just speak a little bit about
Yeah.
what that effect on the community could be by only getting that recognition years and years and years and years down the line.
Right. It's like, we have these legacies and things like that, but to keep getting awarded in the past, it's like it's somewhat disheartening. Sometimes it's like, hey, appreciate, being able to look back like, oh my gosh, they did so many phenomenal things, but then while being long and gone, that needs to come to a stop.
Mhm.
So we need to do a better job at acknowledging all the contributions African Americans and uh, that are here and that are alive,
Mhm.
especially when we're talking about in the service or even outside the service. And all, like, for example, the contributions that are being made from organizations like Black Lives Matter, like Urban League, and others. There's still not enough credit being given to um, these groups, and it's great. Again, all respect and grateful for all of the ways in which the Tuskegee Airmen were recognized, but contributions of individuals when they're present live.
As far as our veterans, particularly our Black veterans, are there special resources where they can look for more information if they are struggling or if they may
Yes.
need some guidance? What would be some resources that our veterans can go to?
Yes, so there's Wounded Warrior Project. So if you happen to have a disability of 50% of, or just you acquired a disability while during in your service, there is a great resource. So Wounded Warrior Project, I definitely look into them. There's also the Veterans Crisis Line that has been very effective outline because people can, on the other end, have at least an understanding of the plight of veterans specifically. And then this includes when we talk about Black veterans. And so those are a few resources. I also have more that I can provide if people reach out to me at, I'll provide my email. It's my Spshelle at jfssd.org. There's numerous resources out there for us. And another one is the Stephen A. Cohen Veterans Center out here in San Diego, which serves the family members of veterans also. And then if you don't have an honorable discharge, then there's still help for you in or you have a, other than honorable discharge, which those types of things are always talked about. There's resources out there, especially when it comes to our mental health and well-being.
That's awesome. Those are all excellent. Thank you for sharing them. Um, yeah, our veterans, I think we can all agree, deserve so much more than they have gotten. And
The fact that we even served and even went through training, that in itself is only a portion of the population that is able to even succeed in doing such a thing. And then to make it out, God bless those who weren't able to, or who have passed on. um, it's definitely important to acknowledge the contributions, especially um, Black veterans.
yeah, that's wonderful, Spshelle. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your expertise on this subject matter. I know it's a conversation that's near and dear to the heart of all of us in the AHT. So again, thank you for your service. Thank you for your expertise and See everyone on a future episode of American History Theaters, continuing the conversation. Until next time.